Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the next section of the course. We have already covered quite a lot as far as we have been moving. We have covered the overview of the course. What are the main topics of discussion? We looked at the Zakia. What does it mean? What is the linguistic meaning? What does it basically means to purify yourself? So, we have been looking at all those things, and now it brings us to the topic of battle within our soul. So, basically, what the Zakia means is that we wanted to purify our soul from all the ill elements that are found within our soul or the habits or maybe spiritual illnesses that are found within our human soul. Just like body can get sick when it's affected by the diseases, germs, viruses. At the same time, we can say that there is an internal process as well where your soul can get sick. If you have too much of a greed within your soul, jealousy, hatred for others. So the spiritual health and the mental health will be affected because, of course, our spiritual health is connected to our physical as well as to our mental health. So we usually think that these kind of things that if we have within our soul, like jealousy, hatred, or animosity towards others will not affect our physical being. It does affect our physical being, and it also affects our psychological well-being or mental well-being. So these things are kind of interconnected with each other. There's an important book that we should read regarding regarding the effect on the soul of ill elements, and I will recommend those books as we go further in the resource page. I want you guys to look at this diagram that I'm sharing here, and we already discussed some of these concepts earlier, but we'll go a little bit more in depth. Like human being in Islam, both male and female have both material as well as a spiritual existence. And a lot of times people are not familiar with their spiritual existence. They are only familiar with their physical existence because we are so much involved in the world and we exist on a physical plane. So we usually tend to neglect our spiritual life or fail to even develop a spiritual life. So we as human beings have duality within our soul, within human nature. We have two dimensions of our life. We have a physical dimension, the existence on earth, and then we have a spiritual dimension, which is connected to God or to higher power. And throughout the world, religion, whether if you are Muslim, Christian, or Jew, many believe to be finding or seeking a spirituality because we wanted to connect with the higher power. We wanted to connect to God. And that is something that's innate within human nature. God has created human beings such that they have an innate desire to connect with the higher power. So the lower dimension is the earthly dimension, and that connects us to the material world, and that is our egoistic traits, and also some of the selfish tendencies that come in. So we can look in the diagram that human heart is actually a point of interaction. It is almost like a door that opens to the both world, to the physical world, which is the earthly life, and where we can see that in our heart, ego and desires take place, temptations, and we want things better in this world, and we wanted to make our life more comfortable or more better in every way. But then at the same time, we should have a desire to rise higher and also desire to make our spiritual life better and richer. So we can see here that there is the point of interaction, that's heart, and then the egoistic traits or the worldly desire pull us down. But as because of the connection we have with the divine, and when Allah created human being, He said, "Nafaqtu fihi min ruhi," that I have breathed my spirit into you. And because of that ruh, that is something that's divine, something that comes from the other world. We desire that connection. We desire to connect with the higher power and authority. So that drag us to that point, and you will see that's why many people that they would exist in the world and they have everything, but they might still feel empty inside because something is missing. So the spiritual existence or the spiritual life is where we find our true happiness, and we find inner peace, which a lot of people are seeking in this world. And that's why we can see why mental health and mental illness is on rise, because we are missing that important part. If this is also a part of our nature and that's not being fulfilled, then of course there's a lack and there is like disappointment and depression and anxiety and all those things. And now I'm not saying that's the only reason. There could be many physical aspect to it.